Hey, Grand Risings. Hope you're having a blessed day. It's absolutely disgustingly hot here. It's about 31, 32 degrees Celsius, centigrade, whichever one. I don't know. Are they different? I don't know. My brain's not working today, but I do have a lot of jobs in the garden to crack on with. So I thought I would show you some of the things that I'm doing. I've got some potatoes to look at. I've got some chilies to repot. I've got tomatoes to prune, seeds to plant, possibly some smaller seedlings to plant out. There are other things that I could be getting on with, but I might not even finish those jobs today. It's too hot. I'm not happy. But yeah, come and melt with me around the garden. Let's go. Okay, so I wasn't sure if the potatoes were ready yet. I was getting a little bit impatient. So I was like, right, I've got two different kinds. I'm gonna empty out one of each kind. And I was very impatient, and I have 5 potatoes from 2 lots. But that's okay. At least now I know to leave these guys a bit longer, that I'm not having to do anything too intense with these for now. And I do have some other potatoes that I want to grow, so I'm going to quickly get those in anyway, so it's not going to be wasted. They're just going to be reused basically, and I'm going to put new ones in. So hey ho, that's fine. It's been bringing life and to the garden, and it's done its thing. And nothing else is going to go to waste, so these will get put into the compost. It's all good. Lesson learned. They've made some pretty flowers. And it'll all go into the compost anyway, so right. I have 5 potatoes to put in my curry tonight. I'm gonna just quickly plant up these other potatoes, put this stuff back in. I might mix a bit of this compost that I've just bought that's enriched into this, just to add to it, so it's not depleted, or just to give it a bit more, because this was sort of not quite enriched compost, but it was like, it's, it's a mix. So I might now I'm just going to pot up these other potatoes. I've got 2 lots to do. I've got to put all the, I have to do it where they're going to, well, close to where they're going to be, I suppose. But yeah, the bags get quite heavy when they're filled with soil. They're actually surprisingly a lot bigger than you think. They look smaller than they are. Yeah, the bags do. And these were an amazing find in Home Bargains or B&M, I think. B&M, I think. Yeah, B&M. And it was, there was just like 2 potato bags in a packet for £4, and they've been amazing. So, woo. Oh, I did get these. These 2 tiny potatoes. Cute. I don't think they really count. Definitely more fluids needed. Okay. This is my very favourite little space. This is my little potting table. Now I highly suggest that if you don't have like a shed that you can like get into and use, or like a greenhouse, or I don't know, something along those lines where people usually do their potting, I genuinely suggest you just get a table, like a cheap table, to go outside and you use the table, like, because it's so convenient for like potting up and planting seeds. As you can see, I've already got some on the go. Just having a go at the dogs. That's better. It's just lying down now. Anyway, so as you can see, I've already got some seeds going here. I've got, these are mainly for the front garden because I'm trying to put mainly flowers in the front garden. There's a little bit of food in the front garden, but mainly flowers. So there's borage here. I think this is lovage, just because I love lovage. It's a really good celery substitute, actually. Here we've got some marshmallow. Can't remember what's in this one. We've got some marigolds that I did the other day, some sunflowers, chamomile on the other half, chamomile here. Not quite sure what these are, but anyway, my main jobby for today is I am going to be planting some seeds, but mainly in the beds, I think, and maybe in some of these trays. But anyway, what I want to do today is repot these. These are actually indoor plants, and although the tubs are big enough, at the time I didn't have enough soil to sort of fill the whole pots up, really. So today there are 2 that are in smaller pots. I'm going to be transferring them into bigger pots or adding soil to the bottom. So yeah, that's it really. There we go. So the roots will keep travelling down. So it's got more space to grow now. But yeah, these are indoor plants. I've actually got indoors, I've got a lot of house plants, but growing, I've got some bell peppers, cayenne peppers, possibly some jalapenos as well. I think there are 2 different kinds of chili, and they're flowering now, they're looking really cool, and some basil. we're hoping to get enough basil going that we can like dry it ourselves. I mean, it's quite difficult to grow basil, so hopefully, I've never really done very well with basil. So hopefully, these ones coming from seed haven't like been disrupted too much. Should do okay. So I've been like, yeah, hopefully. But that's what we've got inside anyway. There's one done. Yeah, taking those chilies in has just reminded me that where the chilies are, I've got a date growing. Yay! I'm so excited. A few months ago, when I did all the planting, I planted 2 cherry stones and 2 date stones, and I was like, yeah, they probably won't do anything, and yay, we've got a date. I've never grown a date before, so woo! I'm excited. Chilies put back, repotted, right next to some spare kale that I've got growing for when there's space outside. This is trying to keep this one safe from caterpillars so that when the butterfly season's over, I will have some more kale to put in. Okay, so my next jobby is to prune the tomatoes. They've just started flowering, if you can see. Which, yay! Very happy about that. But what I want to do is I want to start pruning the bottom leaves, just so that they'll be putting more attention into the fruit up here. Yeah, easy jobby really. I kept meaning to have some hanging baskets with the cherry tomatoes in, and the cherry tomatoes were actually up with the seeds up on the potting table, and the wind blew them off and snapped one of them off, and I got really annoyed and upset. And I need to find somewhere to put them really. The reason why I haven't done hanging baskets is because I was looking for some hooks to have them hanging out on the fence, and there just hasn't been any. So in the shops that I've been to, so I'm gonna have to just put them in the ground, otherwise they're gonna get trashed. And that's another jobby I'm gonna do today because I can see them now. Okay, so yeah. But I'm gonna have cherry tomatoes as well. These are like a different kind of tomato. So there's like 2 different kinds of tomato, I think. There's like a salad tomato, and then there's like a yellowy kind of tomato, I think, from what I remember. And then we've got the little cherry tomatoes. So technically that's 3, I suppose. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing now. Let's take you off. There you go. Let's do these beetroots while I'm at it, I think. Take off the leaves that aren't doing great. Take off some young leaves to have, curry. People don't think about that actually. Beetroot leaves, yes, you can have the young ones in a salad, but actually if you chop these up a little bit like chard, they make a really good pot herb, like a green to add, like a spinach type thing. Like we're going to have it with curry, so I'm going to put the potatoes in. I've got some mung beans that I've soaked. I'll put some beetroot leaves in. I'll get some of this bloody lettuce out. We'll use some of the rocket. Kale, mange two, I'll put some mange two in. Anything else? Oh, and a couple of onions maybe, and maybe some chard. So all of that combined, I know there's not like loads of one thing, but each day, like just taking a little bit as we need it, means that we've always got, I can put some of the Goosefoot in as well. I actually realised I've got 2 different types. I've got Goosefoot and I've got fat hen, and they're actually 2 different species as a follow-up to one of my videos. But yeah, that was a pretty cool thing to realise. So yeah, all of that combined in the curry will make, and there'll be like fresh herbs. So I've got parsley that I can put in. I will probably have some coriander sprinkled on the top. The kids don't like coriander. They say that it's like the soap thing, whereas I don't have the soap thing. What else? Yeah, I think that's it really. But I mean, that's not bad. It's not bad going. I'm gonna lay out all my harvest so you can see at the end what I've got for today. Anyway, next tomato pruning. Just realised that in between a lot of these plants there's a lot of these shoots. So I did a video about these, and it's called Good King Henry or Fat Hen or Goosefoot. But I actually discovered that Goosefoot and Fat Hen are two different kinds. And I think the elongated one is Goosefoot and the wide one is Fat Hen, I think. So I'm going to be pulling out all these shoots as well to have as part, like as greens in the curry. So yeah. So I'm really pleased with how these tomatoes have come back, and actually they weren't doing very well. They were really spindly, not very many leaves on them. Some of the bottom leaves were going yellow, and they hadn't even started flowering. I was like, oh no. I planted them outside and they kind of got a bit taller and they started flowering, but they didn't get any bushier. And then I put some of the worm castings from the worm farm that I did. I grabbed like a couple of handfuls and I just put them around the bottom of around the base of the stem, and watered it all in, and within 3 or 4 days, like, there were loads more leaves. So yeah, it's definitely worked. Yeah, worm castings for the win. Right, so what I'm going to be doing now is, as I'm going around, I'm going to be harvesting the things that have eggs on, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut that little section out, and I'm going to put that over my little caterpillar station behind the compost with all like the sticks and the leftover dead stems or bolted stems that I've been just shoving behind there. So this should basically stop the caterpillar sort of hatching around the crops, which I don't want. But it means that the butterflies have come, they've laid their eggs, I can put them over there. There's plenty of green stuff over there for them to eat, and it keeps getting topped up all the time. I will probably be putting like some of these things, like the beetroot leaves and the tomato leaves, and some of like the bottom or broken off bits of kale like this from a previous pull off. So I'll be putting all of that over there with the eggs, and that kind of helps with the not having to net things, but also allowing the butterflies to do their little thing. So that's what I'm going to be doing with these. There you go. I still get to eat this bit. Might seem silly to some people, but I don't know, I feel like trying to keep as many things, allowing their like natural life cycle as much as possible is helpful. Even if I can only save 1 or 2 of these caterpillars, it's better than them not having that space to lay their eggs, in my opinion. But everybody's going to have their different methods, their different preferences, and you know, but this is mine. Okay. There was actually less on there than I thought, to be fair, considering I've not netted them. But I did actually notice today that the birds were going for the butterflies every time they were sort of landing on a plant. The butterflies were getting like attacked by the birds. I actually thought it was quite funny. It was quite funny to watch anyway. Right then, let's move on. So I need to keep getting this stuff out because I've got quite a few bits that are going that I'm going to let go to seed, but they're in different spaces. So I'm going to try and keep this space for other growable things like onions. I'm going to put some more, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put in yet, but got the tomatoes growing, maybe some more beetroot. Yeah, we'll see. Try not to get ahead of myself, but yeah, in all these beds I'm going to try and take all this stuff out and just keep picking it as and when I need it, as like a pot herb, sort of not weeding it just to take it out, but like, so I've just seen a big one over here, so like this will be a nice one to put in, chopped up, but that's like going to take up space in this bed, whereas I've got like 3 or 4 growing over there that I want to allow to go to seed. just to see what happens with it before I start letting it grow everywhere, because I've never done it before. So if it produces quite a lot of grain that's like quite usable and easy, then next year I'll probably do more. Ooh, just spotted the first green bean. Oh, I'm going to put that in the curry tonight. Yes. The first green bean. Whoop, whoop. Oh, well done. You beauty. Look at that. Well happy. Nice one. Right then, what are we taking out of here? Okay, so these are part of the things that I've been trying to take out as quickly as possible, really, because they've all bolted. Some of them I'm letting go to seed, which is what these have done now. I'm going to be harvesting these, just sort of letting them dry out now, really. That's all that's needed. So that hopefully I can get some more of this next year. If not, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But this was part of the Oriental salad mix, and this actually tastes like quite brassicary, like a kind of like a pea leaf, I would say. But all the it looks like pak choi, but the leaves are more like pea, so it's, you know, right there, I suppose. But I'm just going to be picking off as much of it as I can to put in the curry tonight, before I put these up behind the compost to dry out. So there you go. The reason why I'm going to be using this again next year is because cos lettuce and other kinds of like round lettuce, when it bolts, it goes really bitter and it's like unusable. But this, I've noticed, the Oriental salad, and that's all it said on the packet, like, so I can't tell you what kinds of, it's just salad leaf. I know I can't give you anything more specific than that, but they taste quite spicy and radishy and like nasturtiony, rockety, but they don't taste bitter. They taste almost exactly the same, so it hasn't been wasted after it's bolted, which has been nice. So all I'm going to be doing with this lettuce and rocket is just chopping it up as I would like maybe spinach, as I'm going to do with the other greens that I've collected and the beetroot leaves, like you would chard. Literally just going to chop it up, and at the end of cooking just chuck it in, let it wilt in, and it'll give it a nice spicy flavour. Haven't gotten around to fermenting any of it yet. It's just been like too hot to be in the kitchen, like it's not okay. Too hot. Like all the other beds, this bed is also multi-crop, so there is like tomato, there's like spicy salad leaves, there's mange-tout, there's beetroot, onions, possibly some coriander somewhere, not quite sure. But basically what's happening now is that this salad leaf that I've been desperate to get rid of is now attacking the tomato, so I need to cut some of this down so that it's not on the tomato. I'm not going to get all of this in the curry tonight, but I can cut the leaves off, put them in a bowl, put them in the fridge, and they'll be fine for the next few days. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. As you can see, like the majority of these plants, some of them have had black fly on, aphids, whatever, but not enough to spoil the enjoyment of the food. And I have put 0 chemicals on any of these plants. There's been no weed killer, there's been no weed suppressant, there's been no netting, There's been no insecticides, nothing put on these plants, and they're all doing really well. Yeah, there's a couple of plants really, but nothing. That's why I've multi-cropped, so there's like different crops in different boxes. So if one of the boxes kind of gets, I don't know, black fly, and like I can see over there, I think it's a sprout. There's a sprout somewhere else as well, but like having kale in all the different boxes, or beetroot, just so that, you know, kind of gives it a little chance. Gives it a chance. But it also means that the insects can enjoy it as well. There's been so many hoverflies on this like salad mix and the rocket, and you know, you probably like hoverflies, but I think hoverflies are really, really underrated. Actually, I love hoverflies. They're so pretty. They're like little mini damselflies, but you know, they're not damselflies obviously, but they look pretty and iridescent, and a bit like damselflies, I suppose. So yeah, I think they're quite pretty to watch. I've put all the caterpillar eggs and all the sort of the seedy type pods that I want to try and harvest later when they've dried out. They've all gone behind the compost bin. Hopefully that saves some of the eggs and they get to eat some of the stuff that I've chucked behind there, so they will at least, hopefully, fingers crossed, still live. If not, at least I've tried. So I'm just picking the Monge 2, and as we all know, Monge 2 comes like this, right? Well, some of them have turned into little peas, but don't panic, you can just eat them like peas. Some of the last ones I am going to be leaving to sort of dry out on the plant, to save, again, fingers crossed for next year. They might not do anything, they might not work. I thought if I tried them early enough, then it would at least give me time to see that they've not worked. But if they do, it's a bonus because I don't have to pay for seeds. I mean, I know I can go to a seed swap anyway, that's where I got these from, but it'd be nice to at least try to harvest my own seeds, right? Yeah, so I'm just doing some more tomatoes in this bed, trying to cut off the leaves that won't sprout a little fruiting type cluster. Found some more of the Goosefoot and the fat hen in here. There's also a very cute little thing in there. I'm going to see if I can try and get you right in close on the ground. See that cute little flower? How cute is that? It's tiny. Hey baby. As you can see, this onion is trying to bolt. Sometimes it happens if like they've not been watered enough, or it gets really, really hot and it starts panicking. This does not have a very big onion base, but that's okay. The fact that I have got it while it's bolting, if I leave this in, all the goodness is going to go out of what's already in there is going to go into the flour. So I need to catch this now. This can all just get chopped up, so like that can go in as is, chopped up, like diced, right down to the bottom, all of these greens will produce onion flavour in our curry. I am going to be going around and just checking to see if any more have bolted, but so far all I can see is one, which is fine. I could do with going around and checking other things, but it's actually getting late and I really need to start cooking tea, so that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to show you what I've harvested for today. I could have picked more, but if I put any more leaves in this curry, my kids are going to hate me. So I am going to have to substitute it with some carrots, peppers, and there's going to be mung beans in it as well. Yeah, some carrots and peppers I think will probably work well in that. Yeah, that's it. I'll show you what we've got. Right, I'm done for today. I could be doing more, but it's just too hot and I'm too tired. And so as you can see, what we've got in here is an onion, some kale, some beetroot leaves, some pak choy, munch two, one beautiful green bean, runner bean, 5 potatoes, some salad mix, some rocket, and some fat hen, and these 2 tiny potatoes, which I'm definitely going to be putting in the curry. I mean, whoever gets those gets a prize, right? Well, the potatoes are the prize. But yeah, I need to be getting on. I'm resting for the rest of the day now. It's too hot for this. I've done a bit. Every little bit helps. Even just 20 minutes a day sometimes is enough. Still need to water it later. But by golly, it's hot. Anyway, blessings on your day. Thank you for watching. I love you. Tiny potatoes, Athena. Tiny potatoes. Could you fucking believe it?